само російські прикордонники не заважали цьому. Останнім часом у нас вже є інформація про те, що деякі екіпажі з танків, БТРів, це є екіпажі з російськими солдатами. Регулярна армія.
Cruise tanks and BTRs are coming with the Russian crews, Russian military.
Про це свідчать ті полонені російські солдати, які вже знаходяться у полоні.
We have some Russian soldiers kept in Ukraine and they confront this.
Завдяки тому, що українські військові отримали підсилення на основних пунктах пропуску кордону і
Ladies and gentlemen, speaker, Mr. Anton Gerashchenko, advisor to the Minister of Internal Affairs of Ukraine, and we will talk on the subject. As far as you probably know, the Ministry of Internal Affairs has launched the criminal proceeding against Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and businessman Konstantin Malofeev. Anton Gerashchenko will brief you on more details.
Happy to see mass media representatives in order to do what I was instructed to do by the Minister of the Interior. I'm authorized to discharge the following information. The Ministry of the Interior of Ukraine has got strong evidences which allow to impose responsibility and launch criminal proceedings. Defense Minister of Russia, Sergei Shoigu, as the initiator of weapon supplies and coordination of the groups of terrorists in the territory of Ukraine. This process of imposing special responsibility upon Sergei Shoigu in Russia was caused by the fact that the terrorists in Ukraine were acting inefficiently from the Russian point of view, and that's why they were subordinated to Mr. Shoigu. And we have received information that this was Mr. Shoigu who authorized the discharge of the book installations, and he instructed to bring them to Ukraine, which resulted in the air crash of the Malaysian Airlines aircraft. The Prime Minister, Arseniy Yatsenyuk, foresaw the Russian Federation that we will initiate the criminal proceedings against Russian authorities and also request sanctions against Russian governmental officials who participate in financing terrorism and organizing supplies to the terrorists. Such an official is Mr. Sergei Shoigu, Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation. Besides weapons and munition, he also coordinates the military trainings of the terrorists. We have received evidences and proof that Russian Federation supply the tank crews for the tanks which are involved in fighting operations in Ukraine. The evidences are in some villages, which we will soon show to mass media representatives from all over the world, including the Russian Federation journalists. Also, we warned the Russian journalists who lie about facts in Ukraine. For example, you may recollect the false story about a crucified boy in Slaviansk. And in relation to this lie, Ukrainian authorities requested the EU to prohibit the entry to EU, the initiators of these stories. And this is the list of people and TV officials and some TV channels which are part of the Russian state television company. Also, Moscow mayor, producer general, NTV and Tenta TV companies, director general, and the list of names. Zvezda TV channel, and director general of this TV, REN-TV, Kovalchuk Yuri, Russia Bank, TV company Peterburg, its owner and director. Russia Today, which is financed from the federal budget of the Russian Federator, and Margarita Simonyan, its director. Dmitry Kiselyov is prohibited to enter EU countries since last winter. All these journalists and mass media officials are continuously involved into public lie in mass media about Ukraine. So we request all the countries of the civilized world that they oppose this loud lie and prohibit them to enter the EU member countries. Let they spend their vacations in the North Pole, not in the civilized countries. Thank you.
What do you know about the facts of looting on the crash site? MH17 crash site. Is it possible to stop them from looting? First of all, terrorists and looters, they started to steal money and from the wallets of victims and valuables, rings. Also, they stole credit cards, and some of them were shipped to Russian Federation, and local guys are trying to get money from those bank accounts, but they are late because our police spoke to the governments, Western governments, and so those bank accounts are frozen. Terrorists from the first day started to collect aluminium remnants of that plane and gave it to the scrap. And they are looters. They consider this crash just the way how to make money. They have they don't sympathize at all, and you see they said, oh, it's burning beautiful. So this crash is not that area is not under control of Ukrainian government. It is under control of terrorists, and leaders of European countries spoke to Putin. He told them to give access to the experts to the crash site. They're working there, but they will be able to find something which was not moved to scrap by terrorists. One more question. What can you say that terrorists are using the phosphorus weapons? Do you have such information? We have evidence documented of conversations between terrorist organizations in general and with their sponsors from Russian Federation. And they demanded to provide phosphorus weapons for BM-21 ground systems. After we publish this information, it's quite possible that Russian Federation will not supply such materials, such ammunition, because it will be one more direct evidence we have. That's why we have such tapped conversations, and when time comes, we will provide that to whom we should. And the Soviet Union even signed a convention with the UN, not that about the non-proliferation of such weapons. Ukraine doesn't have such weapons. In Russian media, they say they shot down a plane near the place where that MH17 crashed. I don't have such information.
А где перекладач? Кто там?
David Herson with the New York Times. Forgive me if you mentioned this already. Have you contacted Interpol, or will you contact Interpol to request the arrest of these Russian officials?
Значит, министр внутренних дел Арсен
Mr. Avakov, the Minister of Interior, he has contacts with Interpol, and we cooperate with Interpol and with other international organizations on the issue of investigation of crimes of terrorists. Since now, we will work on sanctions against officials and businessmen from Russian Federation who sponsor terrorism. And if we, when we come to legal proceedings, we will send a request for international, that they are wanted on international level. And also we'll use Interpol. Thank you very much. I could give it. This is a list of journalists, Russian journalists, and we demand and owners of Russian mass media who are lying all the time. We demand sanction against them. They should be prohibited from traveling around Europe and the US.